The XLE Energy ETF is up almost 5% this week, and options traders are betting the run will continue. Pete Najarian is live in Minneapolis with some unusual activity. Hey, Pete, what are you seeing?
Hey, great to see you, Mel, and you're doing a great job today, as always. But when we're seeing the XLE, it's really interesting because we've already watched this year have a pretty nice performance from the XLE, and primarily you look at that 40%. You're looking at ExxonMobil, you're looking at Chevron, right? I mean, that's 40% of the XLE. But this thing has been moving. It's trading around $65. The April 72 calls getting aggressively bought today. Now, that was about 16,000 calls were purchased today, giving you a little bit of time. Everything else has been very short term, Mel. When I've been doing these unusual activities all year, everything's been basically a week, maybe a month and a half. We're going all the way out to April, so we're buying a little bit of extra time. But these 20-cent options really could pay off if we continue to see what we have seen, which has been different energy names almost every single day hitting on unusual activity and a nice move to the upside. So I like what we saw here. I bought these calls. I'll be in these calls for at least about a month and a half. I got another one for you in the biotech space. I heard Josh talk about it earlier, the XBI. Now what we're seeing there is this is a nice performance if you really look at what's been going on recently in the XBI. And what I like here is they're rolling out of already performing February 85 calls and rolling up and going to the March 1st expiring. So we're only talking about 2 weeks. Again, going back to the short-term theme, the March 1st expiring calls that they're buying in the XBI. That's going to be interesting. About 2,500 of those were bought for 50 cents to the upside as well. So I bought these. I like what we're seeing there. I got one last issue here that I'd like to bring up. After that hit, about an hour later, we all of a sudden see Merck hitting as well. Now, on Monday, we had Merck unusual calls being bought there as well. The June 82.5 calls. Stock was trading around $77.30 at the time. Well, now we're trading $80. They're not selling those out. They're holding on to those, but we're seeing the April 82.5 calls being bought as well. So aggressive positioning for the upside, trading about $80 at the time. These 82.5 strike calls getting bought. I had to buy those back. I already had sold out of the others, the June 82.5s. Now I'm buying these. I like what we're seeing going on right now in healthcare, Mel. I love all this unusual activity that we're seeing on a long weekend. Usually you start to see people pulling back. We aren't seeing that today.
And just quickly, I got to ask you this because of NVIDIA and the action that we're seeing there today. On Intel and AMD, you're still holding?
Yes, I'm holding, but I did trim a little bit because that's been an aggressive move. We just had that unusual yesterday, Mel, but yes, I trimmed a little bit, but I still think there's upside. I love what we're seeing out of both Intel and AMD. AMD's on a nice explosive move today as well.